你说什么3点到几点？
嗯
3点结束。
3点结束
我也觉得。
Wait, what time does it start?
7
你这样我就
Oh hell no!
我就知道
Oh hell no! Hell no!
3分的话，你就得5点出发。
我12点都不一定。If I have to wake up at 7, you better pick me up from my house.
No, we have to arrive at 7, start at 7, right?
Yeah.
all
You
right
better pick me up from my
So
house.
you waking up at 7 to teach vector?
yeah
It starts at 7, so we have to wake up at like what?
okay so I'm looking at my landing page, which you guys don't have. Most of you don't. I don't think Ray has it either. I don't think, yeah, I don't think you extracted the
Oh,
components.
it's been in the line.
I know, but your landing page is still a mess. It has like 900 lines.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you made everything work, but you haven't extracted all the logic yet. As soon as you guys finish that video that I posted last week, you'll be able to help out on my projects. Like you can help me divide components up into smaller pieces. That would be really, really helpful on a lot of projects that we have. And it will be a really good practice for you to understand the ins and outs of components. All right, so this week we're going to focus on the post list, where we're going to take a look at how comments are done here. Oh, by the way, if I assigned you, if I remember correctly, I assigned you guys a homework last week to further extract the post component itself, but it looks like it's not happening. So I'm just going to do it myself. I believe it's this li here. Oh, but it looks like without the li, there isn't much left in this file. All right, so we'll just keep everything in this file for now. And in today's class, we're going to leave a comment when we click on the comment button, okay? So in order to do that, we first need to, let's take a look at this components, this project by running up the project. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So when I click on like, should be able to like it. I can unlike it like this. If I click on the comments, I have a modal showing up, okay? So I need this modal to look like a box where I can start leaving comments here. And I should be able to display the previous comments as well. So I first need to update my layouts here. First step, I want to update my profile picture here. Update this thing to be the profile picture. And then this will be the title of the post. This will be the description of the post. And then we'll have a bunch of comments that we can scroll. And then on the bottom side, we should have like a little text area that we can input a comment in, okay? So first step is, as soon as I click on this, I should be able to see the post information instead of something that says the deactivate account and stuff like that, okay? So that means something needs to change as soon as I click on this comment box, right? I need to know as soon as I click on this comment box, what exactly is in this first post, okay? So I need a state to figure out which post to highlight at this point, as soon as I click on this box. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, which box to highlight? That's what I'm trying to figure out for now. And what is going on with my... Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's get started. Where is my landing page? Okay, here it is. Post modal. This is the post modal. Now, I need to somehow pass the information into the post modal to tell it to display the data that I wanted to display. Okay, so basically it looks like this. Data to display needs to go in there, but how do we know which data to display? The click action that happens here. Okay. So basically the click that happens in here will trigger some states up there that will update the data to display. Does that make sense? Any question about that? So some click that happens in post list that needs to be collected. So how do we do that? We can start by creating a props that's called on post modal open. Okay, whenever post modal is opened, I need to be able to pass some piece of information. For example, the ID of the post ID. If I know the post ID, I will be able to go up to my state and say, hey, this is the post ID that's currently being focused on. And I need you to pass that focused post information to the post modal. So post modal can display that. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Yeah, okay, good. Hopefully I'm not losing you here. Next step. Now that I have this on post modal open function, by the way, instead of just writing string or number here for the type of post ID, I decided to use my post interface's ID field. Okay, this way I don't need to reinvent the wheel. Okay, that information of number is already existing in my post interface. I don't need to create another number. I just use the post ID. This is how I use it. I just do post middle brackets quote ID, and that will be the field that I'm going to borrow. Okay, does that make sense? That way I don't recreate things that I already have. Now that I have this here, I need to do it here. On post modal open equals to a function. And what does that function do? That function will focus on the modal that was pressed on based on the post ID. So const handle post modal open, or I can just call it on post modal open. By the way, I have a post ID that equals to post of ID. Import it. And what am I going to do in here? I'm going to focus on the post, but how do I focus on the post? There are several ways to approach it. One is I can have a state that takes down the post ID of the post that's currently being focused on, or I can create a state that includes the entire post body of the post that's being focused on. Okay, either way works. If I create a state with just the post ID, I'll need to use that post ID to find the real post from my post state. If I already have the post ID, if I already have the entire post in my states, I don't need to do that find anymore. Okay, but the problem is if I use the entire post body as the states, then that post body states might not be the latest post information from the database. Okay, so either way works. We're gonna experiment with just setting the post ID to the states, because I believe in not having two states with almost duplicated data. Okay, because I don't want my post to have very similar data. Okay, so I'm going to just create a function, post ID field, or active post ID. I would call it active post ID. Equals to use states post ID or no. Okay, it could be no. If it's no, then it means I'm not focused on any post. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. I'm going to turn off my autocomplete so that you guys don't get confused in my videos. Oh, by the way, I found a really cool feature. So if I select everything, press Command and I, help me finish this code. Accept. Done.
Is it actually right?
It's actually correct. So first step, you set active post ID to the post ID that you received, and second step, you open up the modal. Okay. And then I would just insert that into this bracket over here. But if I want AI to help me figure this out, I can just do help me complete this. And just press accept. And here we go. We have this. Write a value for this. Okay, so now that I have this information here, I also need to pass in the active post ID to my post list. So active post ID equals to, well, actually, no, not through here, because I need to pass it in here to the post modal so that the post modal knows what to render, right? So active post ID like that. But then the active post ID isn't accepted for post modal because my post modal hasn't really set up a what? A props yet. So active post ID is post of ID. It's always faster, just type the code yourself. But if you're stuck, you can use AI to help. Okay.
How do you use it,
I'm not telling you.
bro?
You need to learn maybe, okay, how about this? I'll teach you guys how to use Copilot next semester because I feel like you're at a place where using AI to help with your work is not so bad anymore. You can actually help speed you up. Because now that you understand most like 70, 80% of the concept, you just need that last 20% and maybe AI can fill that gap. Okay. Before I didn't let you guys use it because you haven't learned enough to really understand what it's giving you. But now you should be able to understand what it's giving you. Active post ID. Okay, so now we have active post ID. As soon as we open up the modal, what's going to happen is we're going to make a request to the database to find the active post IDs post to render into this page. So I need a const post and set post state to get ready to accept the data that's coming from the database. Use state. And this is going to use the post for null type. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? By default, it's null. Okay. And I can have a use effect that's triggered as soon as the active post ID becomes available. Okay. I'm going to listen on active post ID. And as soon as that changes, I'm going to check if active post ID exists. If it's not null, then we can make a request. So we're going to fetch the post. Now, fetching the post can be a separate function. Const fetch post equals to use callback. Do you guys remember use callback? Use callback is the wrapper that you have to wrap around your function in React components. That way, this function gets reduces the number of times it unnecessarily re-renders. But the thing is, you need to actually listen on the state to act on this use callback. Okay, so as soon as active post ID changes, this function will re-render. What's going to happen is I'm going to make this an async function so that it makes asynchronous request const data and error equals to await superbase dot from post. Did I use singular or plural? I can't remember. Let me check. Let's see. Is plural. Post dot where select everything. And we're going to use equal filter to find out if the ID equals to the active post ID. Okay, and that's it. And then I'm going to wrap around the whole thing with try catch. If it catches an error, we're just going to console log the error. Okay. And then if there's an error from Superbase, we're going to throw the error. You guys remember that? If we have data, what do? Set post with data. That's it. Okay. What is this? Oh, safe. Okay, so right now the information is coming back from Superbase is default to an array. So I'm going to say maybe single. Okay, maybe single means I'm expecting either 1 or 0 results from my request. Okay, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to give me a result, but maybe single will help you prevent an error where if no result comes back. If you use single, then it's basically saying, I must get a result back. If there's no results, something will break. But I don't want to do that. I want to do maybe single. Okay, save. Cool. So next step is if there's a active post ID, we fetch post. Okay, simple as that. And then I'll add fetch post to the list of things that I'm listening for the use effect. And I'll only trigger this if active post ID is being passed in here with a valid ID. Okay. So now I have all of this ready to go. Any question about these? Do you understand line 17 to 41? That's the most important thing that we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah? Yeah? Do you understand everything? Any question from you guys? I'm here to answer questions. Yeah.
When every time you use try catch, you have to write the if error or error code, right?
Yeah, that's being more cautious around your code.
And also the like if data.
Yeah, if data. And if you don't write any of these, it will still work in the perfect scenario. Okay, it will still work in the perfect scenario. You can still get rid of all of these, and the code will still run smoothly. Okay, but the problem is you don't have any defensive mechanism against any edge cases. Okay, that's also fine. Like if you give me that, I'll be happy enough. But the only thing is you're not handling the error, but you can say, well, fuck the error. I don't care about that. Get rid of it. See, that will be a very simple piece of code. But that is not a Jensen wake up. But that is not a very mature piece of code. Okay. A more mature way to write your program will be to get very defensive and expect the worst. Okay. I expect the worst to happen here. All right. That will be a very defensive code. All right. So now that we have the post, let's console log the post somewhere in our components to see what it looks like. I'm going to go to my components. I'm going to open up the console log. Okay, so you see these 2 nulls over here, right? That's because my active post ID hasn't been set yet. Now, if I open up the post, oh, it's still null. Okay, let's figure out why. Something didn't work. It says line 43, post modal line 43 is displaying a null. So my post is displaying a null. All right, so that means this didn't happen, right? That means this didn't happen. If this didn't happen, did this happen? How do we know if this happened? We can go to the network tab to see if that happened. Refresh the page. All right, nothing happened yet. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, no new network request was triggered. So what does that mean? That means my Supabase request did not happen, right? So that means this entire function didn't run. If this entire function didn't run, did this use effect function run? We can check. Let's console log here, say active post ID is here. And we can console log here saying this is use effect. Okay, and we'll see if both of these console logged. We're going to refresh the page. Now we have this as a use effect, but as soon as I open up this comment, I don't see active post ID being rendered here. Okay, so that means my active post ID was never valid. It never worked. So instead of console logging here, I'm going to keep going up the problem route and try to console log active post ID as my props in this components post modal. Save. I'm going to refresh the page. Undefined, undefined. Do this. Still undefined. So it looks like my active post ID never made it into the components. That's because I think I forgot to save my landing page. All right, so now there's an error to my active post ID. It says number null is not assignable to number. So it's saying that my active post ID, which is number or null, cannot be assigned to this props, which is default to a number. Let's check my code. In my active post ID, I was expecting this to be just post ID. I never said this could be null. So I'm going to add that potential of this being null here which makes sense, right? I'm gonna save this code and I'm going to come back here. I'm gonna refresh my page. Try this again. Still no. Okay, my active ID is still no. Okay, so let's figure out what this active ID, when this active ID was being set, okay? So on post modal open, this is the function that I set the active post ID. Vincent, do you want to stand up and listen to the class? Does it help? Or go wash your face, go wash your face. Is Jensen dying?
Oh, man. The closure I needed for his schedule, sorry. College is vampire.
I don't think so. I think he's just not managing his time
Wait, you
well.
went to college?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you dropped out.
I-
No, wait, what?
I did drop out. College is overrated.哇哦，喜茶要来法拉盛了，就在明茶，开在明茶，
NT 啊，
就关掉的那个。
粉路哪
啊，就那群，
那粉路哪边
我就是楼下，
对啊，
楼下开始看。
Crazy，我本来想在法拉盛开的，我2年前就想在法拉盛开。
在市场。
对，
那我们4月里面能不能忍起来？我操，
肯定可以啊。看在我们这边是好事儿啊，是好事儿啊。
是好事，那个
我们还可以帮他代买啊。
房东，那个后面有没有会员？
还没有。
没事，房东我也没事。I'm back. Oh, morning. 在楼下确实好，但是房东不让，房东不让我
你那个对
啊，这个股不正常。
All right, let's figure out if this on post modal open ever got the post ID. Refresh. Let's open this. Never got it. Never got it. So means this function never got called with the correct values, or it never got called. Let's take a look at where this function is being used inside of post list. Dive into post list. Inside of my post list, I added this props, but did I ever add it here? I didn't. I forgot to add it here. And if I added it here, I haven't added it to the place where I want to on-click and trigger it, right? So I need to find the comments button and then actually add it. Where's my comment button? Right here. Okay, so this comment button. What's set close? How did I add a set close here?
So open up the modal.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So this opens up the post modal, but that actually is duplicated to my what my function does here. My function actually opens the modal and sets the active post ID. So I can get rid of set close from here. I can just do this, right? But I need to pass in the actual post ID so that the function can have access to it. So I need to have a callback function with a post ID. How do I get a post ID? Post.id. Okay, that's it. Save. And then guess what? We can come back up here. We can get rid of the set close. We don't need the set close anymore. Save. Come back out here. We don't need the set close over here. And we should be all good to go. Let's check it. Refresh. Open. There we go. We have a 2. Do you see I see the 2? Okay, good. That's the post ID. And we can come back to the post modal. And looks like we now do have the data available. Let's go ahead and add these data into my HTML. Post dot title. This will be post dot description. Okay, save. There we go. First post. Yeah. Let's open this up. This is a post that has profile ID. Yeah. See, now we can open up individual post. Sounds good. Now, one more thing is we need to fetch the user avatar over here. But we haven't built the feature of making user avatars. So I'm going to just manually add this user avatar to my database so that my code will look, my website will look better. So I'm going to go and find a photo.
Oh my god.
Are you actually the first one that popped up?
Yep. If you search Peter Zhang, I'll be the first one. And this is another photo of me.
UV
然后就说我的老师 Google search 呢搜到的。Okay, so let's go to Superbase. Where's Superbase? Oh, right here. I'm gonna go to, yeah, I should. Somebody build it for me.
Oh my
okay?
god, I just realized I made a really young LinkedIn.
Let's go to
account just
storage.
off my teachers.
Shh. Let's go to left side, select storage. I'm gonna create a new bucket. This bucket will be like a folder, okay, avatars. This will be a public bucket. Anyone can access it in terms of like reading it. Avatars. All right, so I'm going to add a new avatar in here. Upload, download. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to grab the URL of this. I just got the URL. And I'm going to go to my database, the table editor, go to profiles. Oh, looks like I haven't built the avatar field yet. So I'm going to add the avatar field to my table use profiles. Add a new column called avatar. Yeah, just a string. This is going to be a string or text. This is nullable. Okay. Save. All right, cool. So avatar is being added. I can go ahead and go to my database. Oof. This is me. And let's add another one for Ray.
Wait, why don't you just have a default avatar?
Hmm? Pretty Chinese girl.
Excuse me?
All right, AI girl.
No, you bet.
What do you think? All right. So I'm gonna go to storage. Go to avatars. Upload. The pretty Chinese girl.
I take that to personal events.
Cool. And go to database. I'm gonna add this to Ray's profile. Ray, you are weird. And you're using girl's profile picture. All right, cool. Let's go back to the code and I'm going to display the image. Let's find where the image is. I don't have an image. What? Oh, it's probably using an icon. Okay, so this is the icon that was being used. Instead of the icon, I'm going to use an image with class name of H6W6 border rounded full, which means it will be like a fully rounded image. And src will equal to post dot avatar. Now the post dot avatar hasn't been created in my interface yet, so I'm going to go to types file. Do I have a types file? Interfaces file. I'm going to add avatar, which is going to be a string. Save. As soon as I save that, this thing will be happy. Okay, it says that post is possibly no. Okay, so if there's no post, I shouldn't have an avatar, right? So it's either post question mark dot avatar, or I'll use like a default avatar, okay? The default avatar is something that we can grab from the internet, just a dummy avatar. Okay, I'll just grab like a dummy photo, like this. How about that? I need a square. Okay, I'll use this. Save. I'm gonna upload it to Superbase as well. But this time I'm not gonna add it to anyone's profile. Instead, I'm gonna use that as like the default avatar. If this person has no avatar, we'll use that one. What? Why did I download the SVG? I hate SVGs. I'm not gonna use the SVG. I'm gonna just use this one. Save. 什么电话 Really? 没事，我一会儿打回去，不着急。Okay, so we're gonna upload the photo. We're gonna get the URL here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to go to the helpers file. We're gonna export default avatar string equals to the link to this photo. Export const. And we're gonna use this default avatar here by importing it in case that the avatar is not there. All right, so now we have a very strong code that can take care of any scenario. So if I open this up, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to fix around the corners.
Delete the.
We can delete the exclamation mark, good, save. Check this out, pretty nice, right? All right, so I don't like the red color. I think the red color suggests that it's not working. I'm gonna use gray. All right, looks good. All right, awesome. So now that we have the post information, we can go ahead and display the list of comments that's being added here, okay? Right now, there isn't going to be any. So we're gonna skip ahead. We're gonna do adding the comment first, okay? So how do we add the comments? We're gonna come down here to the bottom footer here. We're gonna delete those two buttons that we don't need. Okay, now the footer is gonna be cleared out. And we're gonna go to we're gonna go to Tailwind UI to find some kind of, I think it's called text area right here. Look, we can grab this and put this into our code. I'm gonna select one. How about this? How about this? But I'll add a comment button down here. Or I can use this with a drop down. I can delete the drop downs. How about that? Sounds good? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the code. I'm gonna select everything here. Hey, you know what? Since this is gonna be so much code, I'm just gonna copy the entire file and I'll make it a different component. So I don't want to add that much code to this file that's already loads of code. I'm gonna add a new file called text area.tsx. Or I'll call it comment box. Okay, or comment editor. I'll call it comment editor. And then pull this to the side. I'm gonna say paste this whole thing. Remove the comments. And then, all right, I have all the moods. I don't need the moods. I'm gonna get rid of the moods. I don't need the class name. I already have the class name in my other place. Yeah, I'm gonna call this comment editor. And I will make this export const comment editor equals to callback function. Okay, and I'm going to find a place where I use mood and I'll delete the whole thing. I don't need this entire list box. This is attaching a file. I'm not attaching any files. So I'm gonna get rid of this entire, oh, wait. Where's my text area? Oh, it's up here. So it's not affected. That's good. Let me get rid of this whole thing because I don't think I need it. Then that's the mood dropdown and the paperclip. All right, so I can get rid of almost everything up here. Except nothing. All right, cool. No imports. That's good. So I'm gonna import this comment editor into my comment box in the footer. And where's that footer? Right here. So comment editor. 你哪来的这个 Doritos？
还有送。
艾比这么大方，自己买的？All right. So let's go back here. Oh, what do you guys think? It's not taking up the entire space, so most likely a CSS issue. Yeah, this is doing something weird to my CSS code. Yeah, I don't need that flex row, so I'm gonna get rid of it. There we go. What do you guys think? Looks good? I think this profile icon could be smaller, right? Huh?
Wait, did you just remove?
Why? That's me, and that is the post. That's not necessarily the same profile. Do you know what I mean?
Your profile?
Yeah.
You don't.
I mean, I'm commenting.
When you're commenting, you're commenting. You don't need to know who.
What do you guys think? Should I remove it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll remove it.
Well, you might need to add the name.
See, I want to encourage this kind of discussion, like product discussion. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all about what do you think is the best way to present your product. And once you guys get more familiar with like how to build softwares in the future, you can try to start making decisions based on data. Okay. So in the future, when you build like real products, you would add event trackers to your website, all over your website. So you'll be able to tell where the user ended up in and how long did the user spend on the specific feature. And if there's enough people who actually pay attention to the avatar, you have actual data to support, to back up your opinion. And you wouldn't have to make subjective opinions anymore, decisions anymore. You'll be making objective decisions based on actual data. So it's not important what you think is right. It's important what your users are thinking. Okay. So to give you a really cool example, I have a friend who worked in an air travel agency. It's called Cheapo Air. Have you guys ever heard of it? CheapoAir.com. So they found out that if they add the word "very good" next to a ticket, users are, I think, 23% more likely to purchase that ticket. As long as you add the word "very good" next to the ticket. Like, who could come up with that? It doesn't really make sense, but the data shows that it works. So that's what they did. And they also found out that if they change the title text to red, it has the highest conversion rates than any other color. So they just use red. Okay. And in today's world, almost everything that you use on a daily basis is using event tracking very intensively. Okay. Discord, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, anything you can think of. There's probably like hundreds of experiments they're running on you. Okay. Anything that you do on these apps, these websites, your actions will be recorded, and they will use that analysis to generate, to come up with where to update next, and what to change and what to keep. Okay. So everything you're doing is being monitored, and we can also monitor our users this way to figure out the best things to deliver to our users. Do you guys want to change the button to the right side?
Yeah.
It's a little weird on the left side. So how do we do that? Where's the button? How is this on the left side? Justify in. It's not working. Oh, I know. Self-end, I think. No. Why is this all the way on the right side? Okay, I think this is what it's left and right 0. So I want to change it to right and y 0. So bottom 0, right 0. Remove this. There we go. Now it's on the right side. Okay. So we can go ahead and start typing here. And as soon as we hit post, that should create a new comment. Okay. And let's take a look at our database and make sure everything is ready to go before we hit that button. Let's take a look at our database. Do we have a comments table yet? So should we make a comments table, or should we add the comments to the post? Okay, think about the relationship between comments and post. Is it 1-to-1, 1-to-many, or many-to-1, or many-to-many?
What does that mean?
What's one and what's many?
One post and many comments.
One post, many comments. Can the same comment appear in different posts?
No.
You can make duplicate comments by spamming,
I know how.
but if you leave this comment, it shouldn't pop up in another post. Okay, so it's many comments to one post. Okay, so when it comes to many comments and one post, how should you design a database? In this case, you would have a table for comments, and you have rows of comments that all have references to the post ID. Okay. Now, if you have many comments and many posts, like many-to-many relationship, you would need a different table in between your comment table and the post table that represents that many-to-many relationship. Every row will be a post ID and a comment ID, post ID and a comment ID, post ID and comment ID, and they don't need to be unique. Does that make sense? Oh, it doesn't have to make sense right now because we haven't run into a scenario where we need to build like a many-to-many relationship. It's more rare than when we have those kind of relationship. Most of the time we have many-to-one or one-to-one. Okay, so let's build a new table called comments. Make sure you do not click this. Comments. What do we need in the comments? Who wrote the comments? Author ID. It's gonna be a text for now. I'm gonna update it to reference to the user table, the profile table. And then who I mean, what post is it under? Post ID. Also a text. What else do we need? The content, the actual content, right? What else do we need?
Profile.
Do we need to record the likes?
Yes.
Can people like comments? Answer me. Can people like comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Likes.
So much more.
Because if you want to add likes to comments, you need to build another table for comment likes. And you need to update your original table. Instead of likes, you have to rename it to post likes. Okay? All right. Let's leave out likes for now. I don't think we have time to finish that. But just remember that if you add likes here, it needs to be different than the post. Okay. All right. So what else do we need here? That's it. Looks good.
Should we add a maximum, minimum, a max character limit?
We should, but it shouldn't be added to your database. It should be added to your code. Save. Comments is good to go. Refresh the page. You should be able to see comments. Update the columns. Because we need to change the author ID to reference to what? What do we use for the post? I'm wondering. Because I'm wondering if we use the profile ID or the user ID for post.
Profile.
Profile ID, okay. Let's link it to profile as well for comments. So author ID will be the profile ID at a foreign key relationship, profiles, and comment types don't match. Okay, big ints. I need to first change this to big ints. UID, profile. Oh, it's big int type. Oh, change this to big int 8 and foreign key relationship. So I regret making the reference column in that create table menu. That's created a lot of problems. And the post ID also needs to be updated to add a foreign key relationship. And I think that's going to give you a problem. Yeah, it needs to be a big int type as well. We'll change this to big int and then add this. There we go. Now we can save. Cool. Why is it taking that long? Okay, there we go. So we're ready. Let's go back to the code. And then as we type into the comment box, we need a state to record the text that's being typed in, right? Who should be responsible for that state? Should we keep it in post modal? Should we keep it in comment editor? Or should we put it in landing page?
Landing. Comment.
Comment editor? Okay, makes sense. Content, set content. Huh? I don't know. You might like it, like everything in one place.
That's a lot of problems.
Yeah, that separates our problems. Okay, so next, we need a function that submits the comments. In theta error equals to superbase dot from comments dot select. Well, actually, you don't need to select dot insert. You need to insert post ID, author ID, content, which is the content in our state. And what else do we need? That's it. Created will be automatically created. We don't need to pass that in. So how do we grab the author ID and post ID? Guys, how do we grab the author ID and post ID? Where do we get that from?
Landing.
Huh? No. We have it in our app. Which component do we get that from? Landing page? Is it in our landing page?
So,
What do we get from landing page again? The author ID? We have the user state here. Huh? We have the user state here. Can we use this user state? And we have the profile here. Can we pass this profile state into the component?
maybe.
Is there any other way? Huh?
No,
I mean, we can pass this through. I just need to pass it down a couple levels deep. Like this, you know? And then I can go to my. Where's my components? Post-modal components. Okay, so I'm passing it here. I need to go to my post-modal component. Profile will be a profile state. And then what do I do with this profile? I need to pass it one level deeper, right? This is called props drilling. I'm drilling it down to where I use the comment editor. Profile equals to profile. Okay. And then what do I do here? I made an interface to get ready for the props. Profile, profile. And then over here, set the props. Profile. And then finally, what do? Profile dot ID. Okay. Does it make sense? It went all the way from the left side to the middle to the right. Does it make sense? Yeah. So it went through the middle components post-modal, which had nothing to do with profile. And it made its way into comment editor. Okay. So my question to you is, okay, first we need to solve this. Profile null. Okay, so profile could be null, so I can't be sure that this profile is there. So I have to do profile / null so that this error goes away. But then I have another error down here where profile could be null. So I have to add profile null over here. Okay, so a lot of duplicated work. And over here, since profile could be null, I'm no longer sure that profile always has the ID. I have to do a question mark. Okay, what do you guys think? It's good? Is a little bit duplicated? You have to go through a middle component which has nothing to do with profile. And then finally pass it through here.
If it works, it works.
But in the future, when you have hundreds of components, this will happen a lot more commonly. You have not just one, maybe 5, 6 different components that have to sit in the middle and gets handed the profile and handed to the next components. No, this is called props drilling. Okay. If you have a component sitting in the middle that has nothing to do with the profile that you handed to it, it's already a little smelly. Okay. But if you have 2 components that sits in the middle that gets handed the data that it has nothing to do with, it's extra smelly. Okay. That at that time we'll just create something called context. Okay, React use context, which is something that I will cover in the next class. That's when you have a global state that sits on top of your entire app, and you just grab states from that global state and set the states in that global state. Instead of having states cluster around your app, you have all the states in one single place, in a universal place that you can access. Okay, that's called how to design a context around your React app. It's called a global state solution. Props drilling will be a temporary solution. Okay, it works between one component and the other. But if you have more components in the middle, it no longer makes sense. Okay. Another solution around this is to move your states up one level into your post list so that your component, your states only gets passed once. In this case, either putting it here or here, similar amount of work. But do you guys understand where I'm getting at? You understand the problem that I'm describing, right? Okay. So if I move this entire thing, including the states and the function, up into the post modal, the problem will be solved. I don't need to have the component that's handed something that it's not going to use. because it's going to use it for this function. But this component will be pretty empty, right? It will just be a component that just listens to whatever post modal tells it to say. And post modal will pass this component what? The text that to put into the text area, and the click action that needs to bubble up, right? The click action actually happens in here. So the click action needs to bubble up to this component. And this component handles the posting the comments. Okay, and you just give this component a little bit more responsibility. All right, so there's a lot of decisions like this that you have to make. A lot of decisions you have to make when you're making an app, and these decisions will come really easy to you the more apps that you build. Okay, because you have more experience around this. If I were you, if I were faced with this problem, my go-to solution would be to move everything into here, because I think one prop sitting in the middle doesn't warrant a global state solution yet. It's a small enough app that I don't want to go through the trouble of building a global state. But I would instead move this to here, because it's very annoying to have to pass something that is completely useless in a middle component. Okay, so what I would do is I would just go ahead and move everything up one level so that you guys don't have anything in your comment editor. I'll just move the things in here. That's why it makes sense to sometimes have components that does a lot of things. Okay, like a smart component that does a lot of things. So as soon as we move things here, no error goes on, right? And we don't need access to the profile anymore. Except that if we had kept that avatar for the user who's currently logged in, we would have needed that profile passed into the comment editor, regardless. Does that make sense? Because we remove the avatar, we no longer need profile here. Okay. All right. So we just remove the profile here. We don't need all that. And this component will be super clean. The good thing about keeping this component clean is that if you don't have a lot of states that determines the specific usage of this component, you could actually plug and play this component into any place in your app and still use it the way you designed your props to be. Does it make sense? This component will reduce from a specific purpose component into a general usage component. A specific usage component is only good for one thing, right? You're creating comments. But in the future, if you want to use this in another place in your app, let's say you want to write a message to a friend, you can still use the same component, which is now a general usage component. Plug it in and just passing the props that's appropriate, and then handle the action that bubbles up. And then you have like a piece of Lego that you can plug into any place in your app and still use it. Okay, and you design your props in a way that you feel like will make the most sense. I'll show you now. So right now, this editor will still need an interface props, but it just doesn't need the profile anymore. What does it need? It needs the text that's currently being typed into the content, which is the content value. I'm going to make that string, okay? And it also needs on submit as a function. This function will be triggered as soon as we click on that submit button. All right. Now, this is this very general usage component, because which comment editor doesn't need content and submit? Everything needs it, right? Every general usage component like this would need it. So we would just pass this into our text area over here, value equals to content, okay? And then I need an on change, right? Now I need to also pass an on change. So on content change will also be a component. But this component will have an E, the event. Make sense? E colon, what's the event? I'll ask ChatGPT.
How do you do that?
And then you better react now.
Something like that, yeah. Okay, react.change event HTML text area elements. Okay, it's pretty long. I hate to memorize that. That's just the type of the E, the event E. That's going to be given to you from the on change. On content. Well, I haven't added it to my own content. Okay, here. I'm going to add it here on content change. Can you guys see it? We're going to scroll down. We're going to find a button that says post. We're going to add on click. That's going to say on submit. Okay. on submit with a capital S. There we go.
Isn't that the get copilot thing?
So this file is now ready. I can get rid of the imports and I'm done with the comment editor. This comment editor is now a Lego piece I can plug into my app. I'm going to remove it and I'm going to come back here. I'm going to find this here and it's going to ask me for the props that I need. Right now, I don't give it any prop. It's going to give me an error. It says it's missing the following properties from props: content, on submit, and on content change. If I'm not ready to put those in, I can just add these as like dummy code right now. Okay. So on submit, what do I do when I submit? I haven't figured that out yet. What do I do when I do on content change? I know what to do here. I'll just set content with e.target.value. Okay. And then the content here will be what? Content, the state that I just added to my post mode, right? Save. And then on submit, here's the part that I need to add on submit comments. I think it's what it's called. Handle submit comments. That's it. Okay. And if I want to make it simplify, I can just write handle submit comments, just like that. Okay. Make sense? Yeah. Good. So I'm done with this Lego piece. Like this Lego piece is all good to roll. I just need to fill out the handle submit column function, which is over here. So we can add a try catch here. If error, row error. If data. What happens when you submit the comment? Should we fetch the post again to update the post list? I mean, the post comment list? Yeah, we should fetch the post again. Fetch post. We already have that function down there, ready to go, right? And if we have the error, we console log the error. All right, this is all good to go. Oh, I forgot to add a await. There we go. Now the error should be gone. Okay, so handle submit comments. Let's try that. Let's try that. Okay. So I'm going to go to my page. I'm going to add a comment. First comment ever. Post. Did it work? I don't know. Let's check. Let's check my database. I mean, it just closed and I don't know if it worked. Let's go to the database. Where's my database? Right here. Go to table editor. Comments. No comments. It didn't work. Let's figure out why. I think the most likely issue is in my table, in my comment editor, I have a form. And this form has an action of hashtag, and that's usually the culprit. I want to get rid of that action because that action will automatically refresh your page, which is not something that we want. So we want to get rid of that action. And then as soon as you press a button inside of a form that has a type of submit, it refreshes your page as well. So we want to get rid of that. And then one more thing we have to do is through this submit, something will be passed through this submit. So I'm going to show you what's being passed. There's an event that's passed on to on submit. And this event needs to be taken care of by preventing the default from happening. Okay, so all you gotta do is prevent the defaults, and then you could have kept the type of submit, and that would not have done a thing. Okay, that type submit event will be blocked by e.prevent default. Okay, does it make sense? This will block the browser event that happens when you press on a button inside of a form. And that's what caused the page to refresh, and that's what caused the comment to fail to send. Okay, let's try that and then test it again. I'm just so knowledgeable.
Oh my God.
First comment. Try it again. Comments event. Network requests happen, but it's red. Let's find out. All right, the payload has author ID. The payload has content, but it doesn't have post ID. We forgot to pass in the post ID. Invalid input for big int. Empty. Okay, so that basically says we don't have the post ID here. So let's find out where do we missed it. Oh, right here. You see that post ID is missing. What can we put here in the place of post ID? Are there any available variables we can pass in here in this modal? This is why I check if you have been listening. Very good, active post ID. Because active post ID is the modal that's currently open and focused post, right? And if we want to add a comment to that post, obviously we can use the active post ID. Make sense? What? You shake your head? Oh. All right, let's try it again. Post. Did it work? I think it worked. So let's check my database. There we go. We have our first post. First comment. Now it's not showing up in my modal yet because I haven't wrote the code that displays the comments. But there are several things I need to take care of. First is I need to let the user know the post is being posted. One of the ways will be to clear out this comment box, right? To reset it. And another way would be to show the actual comment that's showing up. That's showing up in your comments. So let's start by clearing out the post. Clearing out the content box with empty states, with empty string. Okay, you've seen that in to-do list example, right? This is the same thing that we did in to-do list. Now, second thing is let's display the exciting stuff, which is the comments list in here. So I will just make a very dummy list here. Post dot. Okay, so this will be where I display the comments. Okay. Comments. I'm just going to put comments here. And it will show up here. It's not going to look pretty for now. I will add the tailwind style in just a little bit. Okay. Now, first step is how do we get the comments in here? The thing is, when we grab the post, this post over here, I have created ads, I have description, I have ID, I have the images, I don't have the profile ID, I have title first post. All right. And the thing that you might notice here is I don't have any comments in here. There's no comments in here. So I need to actually include a comment whenever I fetch a post by detail. Okay. So in order to do that, I can just go up here. This is the important stuff. So I'll go to the function that fetches the post instead of the select. I'll update my select with backticks and make a new line. In here, I'm going to say I need everything in post. On top of that, I need all the comments that's associated with this post. And instead of that comments, I want everything from that comment. Okay, that's it. You don't add an extra comment down here. You just write it like this and you're safe. And then let's refresh the page. Let's try it again. Let's open up this post. Let's take a look at what, wow, I haven't even showed you the comments. No, that's just the dummy word that I just wrote. It's not the data.
I showed everyone.
All right, now I know who wasn't listening, who just like nodding along. All right, let's take a look at the post. And let's see what we got this time. Hey, look at that. We have comments array, even though it's empty. But as soon as we type something here, I post. I made a post, comments. It worked.
It's already done.
But the fetch post didn't happen. I'm supposed to see a new fetch right after the comments.
Does that mean it's broken?
Yeah, it's broken. Who's calling?
Oh.
Ron? Hey, Ron, what's up? Yeah, what time are you guys wrapping up?
Well, I need a reading on the blood.
Yeah.
They're in the order. Taking good service.
I love my work.
Okay, I'll come around 7:20. All right. All right. Bye. Jensen, you really need to wake up in my class. This is the most important time of the week. If you're not coming for the whole week and you're sleeping in my class, I don't know how to help you.
Are we still done at 7 today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either,
Yeah?
Like this class, like I can't think straight.
Huh?
Like I have like those, I have to go home early,
You have to go where?
go home early.
When?
It's like I've been studying for midterm for like a whole week. And doing.
Do you have
a lot.
midterm tomorrow?
Huh?
You have a midterm tomorrow?
No, not.
We're almost done. We have like 20 more minutes. We're almost done in 20 minutes.
Wait, what did Ron call about?
I have to go get him later.
You want me to come with you?
Thank you, good sir.
You're so welcome.
Wait, for what? Are you gonna drive us home?
No, I don't have my car today. I'm not driving today.
Wait, so if I go with you, does that mean I have to go home with Ron?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Can you come anyways? Because I need to carry some stuff over there.
I wanna see your face. How about that? The mic is on.
So it's not, I meant that.
Jensen, can you promise me to get enough sleep before Fridays?
Sure. Right now, I slept at 3 and woke up at 6.
It's only been 1 hour since we started class, bro. Actually, them doing this is a good time waster.
Yeah, well, he's letting us out at 7.
Oh. I need to, I think I need to,
Congrats, we're all happy.
need,
Okay, so we have about 20 more minutes left. Let's try to get through this.
yes, sir.
Okay, so where are we? Oh, fetch post isn't happening after we post the comments. Let's find out why. Where are we posting comments? If data fetch, okay. I think the problem is because once we inserted the comments, there isn't any data that came back because we didn't do any select, okay, from the inserts. So we're not gonna rely on if data comes back. We're just gonna fetch post and reset the content as soon as we're done with inserting the comments. And I think that will solve that problem, okay? So let's try it again. Refresh the page. Come down here. Let's make a comment. Hello. Post. There we go. Now we have a post that's happening right afterwards, and then our comment box resets. Okay, that's good. Now let's display the comments here. So before we do that though, we need to first head over to interfaces. We need to build a comments interface. It has the author, who is going to be the profile. We have a post, which is going to be the post. And then we have the content, which is a string. And then inside of our post, we need to have multiple comments like this, okay? And I think, in fact, we don't need the reference to post. We just need a post ID. That's a number. That's a post of ID. Okay, does everything make sense to you so far? We made a comment interface here. And we're going to use that down here. We're going to say, okay, instead of just comments, we're going to do post dot comments dot map. Get rid of this to give me more space on the right side. Okay, so post comment dot map comment and index. I'll just call it I. Return. P tag, I'm gonna say This is the comment dot content. Okay, comment dot content. Let's check it out. Hi, hello. Bye. Yay. So it worked. Now, if it worked, let's go ahead and head over to Tailwind and grab a really nice looking layout for our app. Okay. We need a list of comments. So which one should be third? How about beats? Like this? I don't think it looks good. Oh, what about this?
Yeah. Um,
It looks like a collaborative feed. It's not exactly what we want. Let's take a look at this. Not exactly what we want. Oh, what about this? I think this looks good. What do you guys think?
that's what we want.
Yeah, best looking one. All right, let's grab it. I don't need the outside. Well, I need just the UL. And then coming here, I'll just put this here. And then I'll replace a couple things. Post dot comments. And index. And I'll use index for the key. I think in my interface, I forgot to include that comments all have IDs, which are numbers. Wait, are comment ID numbers? That's, yes, comment ID are numbers. All right. We also have created at, which is a date. All right, so we're going to change this to created at to string to created at to string. And this will be comment profile. Oh, wait, comment author dot. Profile should also have the name, right? What do we have in profile? Profile should have username. Okay, username and avatar. Save. So comment the author dot what's this? Username. And then the image here should be comment dot author dot avatar or default avatar. And then I think we're good to go. I can just get rid of this. Save. What? Oh, I'm missing a div down here. Save. All right, we're good to go. No error. Let's take a look at the code. I imagine there's going to be an error. There we go. We have an error because avatar is undefined. Avatar is undefined. So where are we using avatar? So avatar cannot be fetched from undefined author. So it says author is undefined. That means I did not get author along with the comments. So what I can do is I can expand on the comments. On top of the comments, I also want profile. And everything in the profile that's associated with this comment. I also want, what else do I want from the comments? I don't need the post information because I have the post information out here. So this is how you can expand onto the comments using the relationship that you just built in your database, okay? Just open up another bracket and let's try it again. Refresh. There we go. It's not showing up. Oh, because I don't think this one, wait, what? It's not showing up. Oh, there's an issue here. This was flashing red. Search for foreign key relationship between comments and profile in the schema public, but no matches were found. Perhaps you mean profiles instead of profile. What can I do here? Add the S, yeah. Refresh the page. Try it again. Undefined. All right, let's check our code really quickly. We have comments. For each comment, do we have the profiles? Yes, we do. So it's called profiles. It's not called author. That's why it was undefined. So we're going to go to, first of all, the interface. Instead of author, we're going to call this profiles. And then as soon as we change that, the issues will come up here, which is gonna tell me that I need to change this to profiles as well. Profiles. Well, obviously we can rename this field as well in our request query, but I'll teach you that later. We just update the interface and then here to match with the real field name. Try it again. There we go.
Whoa.
Not yet. It's not looking pretty yet. First thing is I need to make sure they're string to the middle.
Context 4.
PX8. I think it's 8. There we go. I was right. And then the avatar needs to be smaller. 6. 6. All right. And what else? And the date stamp. I hate it to be a very long string. I'll just change that using a library called day.js. Put this in here. And then from now, and that will give me the amount of time that when it was posted, 13 minutes ago. Okay. And I can post a real one, a new one. Ray, what's up? Well, I am Ray. A few seconds ago. Pretty nice, right? Now, I don't want this to grow indefinitely. I want to set a max height. I don't want it to be too tall so that it goes all out of my screen. So I want to make this area scrollable. I want to find out how big is it right now. It's right now it's 512 pixels tall. So I'm going to go ahead and make this UL max height 512. Let me see if I have 512 here. Turns out I only have up to 384, but that's fine. 512 pixels. I can customize a pixel value here. And then if it's overflow, what do? Scroll. Overflow Y, scroll. If it goes out of the limit of 512 pixels, it's going to be able to give me a scroll bar. All right, so let's make a new comment. This is another one. Post. Do you see the scroll?
Whoa.
YOLO. Post. Oh, it's not showing, but it's down here. How about this? Whenever I make a post, I scroll to the bottom to show the new post. You want to do that?
Sounds like more.
Yeah. So we're going to create a ref over here. This is a reference. I'm going to create a reference up here using React const comment ref equals to use ref. By default, it's going to be a null. And then coming down here, I'm going to make this comments ref. Okay, passing it into ref. And then as soon as I post the comment, what's going to happen is comments ref dot current dot I forgot how to do it. So let me ask OAI. Comments ref dot current dot scroll top equals to comments ref dot current dot scroll height. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but let's make sure that comments ref exist before I do that. There we go. What's this saying? Comments ref and comments ref dot current. Type this. Wait. It went out of hands. All right, don't worry about it. This is just a regular type error, but usually it should show up. Well, let's try it. React.ref. Nah, I won't type it. It's too much work. Okay, so let's try it again. Scroll. Yay. Now I scroll to the bottom. It didn't. Okay, so what happened is when I scroll, I literally just fetch the post. So this fetch post, since it's a time-consuming thing to do, it might not finish until when I was trying to scroll. So I'm going to wait for this to finish. Okay, I'm going to try to see if that works. If that doesn't work, I have another way. Okay, let me try again. Scroll me again. No, it didn't work. Okay, so a way it didn't work, like I expected. I would just do, as soon as fetch post happens, I will scroll to the bottom. How about that? Try this again. Scroll me once more. What? Okay, I have another way. Because the set post needs to happen before the comments show up. So I can add a use effect to listen on whenever the post gets set here. Post. Yeah, if post, scroll me. Okay, try again. There we go. All right, so try is now showing up on the bottom. So this is how use effects is used. You can listen on state changes. As soon as that changes, it will be a synchronous operation that you can follow along with.
The next step, deleting comments.
Yeah, we have time for that. It's deleted comments. You should only be able to delete the comments if you made it, right? So we'll only show a delete button next to the comment that you created. And in order to do that, we can come down here. We can make a, where should we put the delete button? Down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so button, delete. It's right here. So I'm gonna make this flex box, specify between, move it to the right. There we go, nice here. I'm gonna make this delete button a little nicer. X, SM, XS, and then text red 500. All right, there we go. So as soon as I click it, it should be able to delete. So I'm going to go ahead and add a function called delete. Const handle delete comment. What do we need to delete a comment? No, just the comment ID. Okay. Now that we have a database, we can use the ID to find anything we need. Okay. Index was backing to-do list or Kanban board. That's when we didn't have a database. Now we have permanent record. So ID is something that we can trust. Comment ID. And what's the type of comment ID, guys? I don't know. I don't care. I can just do comment from interface and grab the ID field. Yes, very good. So how do I do that? Try catch, const error equals to await, because I'm deleting. I don't expect to select it after I finish deleting. So that's why I don't need the data in my brackets. Superbase dot from comment dot delete equal ID that equals to comment ID. Okay. If error, throw error. And then I will console log the error if it happens. Usually I would just like pop like a toast on the top right-hand corner to show you that something went wrong. But all right, so if the comment deletion was working, I would fetch post again to update my list of comments. Okay, I think that's it. That's all I need to do. Hmm?
Like, are you sure you want to delete this?
We could, but it's more work. We need to pop a new modal on top of the current modal we have.
Never mind that.
If you want, I can show it. Just have to stay a little longer. On click. Handle delete comments. I'm going to pass in a comment ID. Comment dot ID.
I'll ask you how to do it when I come in. Sunday.
Okay. All right, let's try it. Which one you want to delete? Scroll me. It's gone. It's gone. Let's delete everything. Ooh. As soon as I delete, it scrolls me to the bottom. You see that? Yeah.
It doesn't refresh the page.
Comments will still be here.
Shouldn't there be like a number of comments?
We can do that next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, number of comments. I mean, that would be easy, right? You can just display it here. That's very easy. Well, let's quickly show that actually. Because right now, in your post, when you grab all the post, technically you don't have any comments here. You see? So how do we fix that? How do we get comments into the post request? When you grab these posts, comments is not part of the request. Let's go to landing page. Let me show you where that happens. I believe it's in post list. Right, this is a query to find post. Now, how do we get commenting here? With what? What do I write? Comma, comments, parentheses, everything. Do I need a comma here? No, that will break the query. No comma after the last one. Save. And then using this comma, we can do come here, come here. Where's my here replies? All right. Post dot comments dot length. See, now we have 6 comments here, 0 here, and 0 or 1 here. Okay. Very nice, right? Yay.
Hoorah.
Oh, one more thing. We want to add the avatars to all the posts. What would that be? IMG src equals to what? Post dot avatar. Wait, how does post have avatar? How would a post have avatars? I don't think this should have avatar. Let me check my database. I thought profiles have avatars, but posts shouldn't have avatars. Do we have a? No, we don't have avatars here. Who put here? Who put this here? I don't think I did. Post dot profile dot avatar. Try that. It will, because avatar is undefined, because this probably should be called profiles with an S. And I need to, yeah, profiles. So this needs to be updated with S. And then obviously it will give me an error here because now this needs to be updated to S, which is the correct value. Try it again. It's no. Okay, profile. This is okay, this is undefined. Okay, the first post that was ever created did not have a profile that's attached to it. That's why it gave me an error. So I'm gonna add it to Ninja. All right, and I'll just refresh my code again now that I updated database. Now everything should work. Pretty good, right? All right, what do you guys think? Yeah, we're good with the recording. Any other question?
No, sir, I also added a month ago.
Yeah.
The post.
Yeah, we started this class a month ago.
But that was more recent.